Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne. Did you receive an official 2015 Democratic Party survey? This is rich. These questions are just great. Here we go. Do you agree with the President's plan to take executive action on issues that Republicans refused to bring to a vote, such as immigration? Oh, okay, number 2. Do you support President Obama's plan to increase the minimum wage for America's workers? Do you support the President's plan to make it possible for more American workers to earn sick days and family leave? Do you support President Obama's plans to close the wage gap and ensure women receive equal pay? Do you support his plan to close other tax loopholes and to simplify the tax code so that corporations and the ultra-wealthy will pay their fair share? Are you about ready to puke? That's only 5 questions. Number 6. President Obama presented a plan that will allow American workers to gain the modern job skills necessary to compete in the global economy. Do you support these efforts? Number 7. I tell you, it's hard to read these with a straight face. Do you support President Obama's plan to reduce carbon pollution, accelerate the development of clean energy, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and invest in sustainable and resilient infrastructure projects to prepare for the effects of climate change? Oh, talk about leading the witness. Number 8. The President has proposed a plan to provide a community college education to any American who is willing to work for it. Do you support this initiative? That was Section 2, Presidential Priorities. I guess let me save the comments to the end. Section 3, Republican/Tea Party. Do you believe the Republican/Tea Party majority in Congress will heed President Obama's call for cooperation or escalate their attempts to obstruct his agenda? Oh, good grief, who writes this stuff? Number 2, which potential actions by the Tea Party Republicans in Congress most concern you? Choose up to 3. I'll have to read these to you. Dismantling the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Restricting reproductive rights. Obstructing marriage rights. Forcing a government shutdown. Obstructing judicial appointments. Opposing minimum wage increases. Opposing immigration reform. And here we go. Select the 3 potential presidential candidates you believe are most likely to secure the Republican presidential nomination in 2016. Donald Trump's name's not on the list. Okay, question 4. Is it important to you to put a Democratic majority back in the Senate and House of Representatives and put another Democrat in the Oval Office in 2016? Okay, here we go. Section 4, Democratic Party Priorities. Please rank the following 7 political goals for the Democratic Party by their level of priority. Mark the appropriate number by each goal, with the number 1 signifying the most important and the number 7 signifying the least important. Combating Republican obstructionism in the House of Representatives. Protecting progress achieved by President Obama. Pushing President Obama's new initiatives through GOP opposition. Winning Democratic victories at the state level. Retaking the Senate in 2016. Electing a new Democratic president in 2016. Number 2. As we look to our 2016 election work, we have identified 6 key priority areas. Please rank them by their level of priority, with number 1 signifying the most important and the number 6 signifying the least important. Strengthening our state parties. expanding access to the ballot box so Americans are not denied their right to vote, building our technological edge, getting Democratic voters to the polls, electing a new Democratic president in 2016. Number 3, how do you plan to help the Democratic Party in 2015? Check all that apply. Volunteer, canvass, phone bank, register voters, monitor polls, put up a yard sign or bumper sticker, hold a fundraiser, participate in policy surveys, make contributions. Then, of course, they ask for money. But did you see one theme that ran through this survey? It wasn't about what's good for the country. It's about what Democrats want. It's all about Democrats. Not what's good for the country. It's what the Democrats want. It's kind of like we're going to herd our sheeple, our Democratic sheeple. We're going to keep them in line and just, lead them down the path. I mean, do you see what's wrong with that picture? President Obama, his agenda. He might as well be King Obama. His agenda. Not what's good for the country. Not an open discussion. Not let's looking for solutions. No, it's like those evil Republicans, those evil Tea Party people. We've got to beat them. Even if it runs the country, over the cliff or flushes it down the toilet. But by all means, we got to take control of the Congress and of the Senate. I mean, this is just literal brainwashing. Do you see these questions? I don't think any of these, could you even allow these in the court of law? I mean, there's so many assumptions. The climate change. I mean, it's not proven scientifically. We know they've cooked the books. But they want to keep telling you it's true. I mean, it's just gotten to the point where you can't trust almost anything you read or hear. It's just, there's always some spin to it. I mean, it's just hard. Even textbooks now. Oh, political agenda. It's just all this social stuff. It's even crept in. Politics has no place in science. Science is about, trying to disprove theories, and if you can't, well, then the theory stands. I mean, it's all about discovery. It's about logic and reason, the scientific method, critical thinking. This is just, no, just follow us, join the party, do what we tell you to do, help us. There's just no more discourse in America. It's just a bunch of people screaming and calling each other names. You're a Tea Partier, you're a liberal, you're a conservative, you're a fat cat, you're part of the 1%. All we got to do, once you put a label on it, then you can demonize it. This stuff has just got to stop, and talking about things like fair share. Are you trying to tell me that every time I earn $1, I should have to give it up to the government? They waste enough money as it is. Why do they need more? I mean, if you think about it, why should you no matter how much you earn, you just got to keep paying more than more? There should be a limit. There should be thresholds. It's like, you should have to make so much before you have to pay, and then after a while, if you make so much, then you don't pay anymore. And as I've said before, I don't know how long you've been watching my videos, but I've had this idea for probably over a decade. What we need in this country, if you really want to jumpstart the economy, is in 2015, the last digits of 5, if your Social Security number ends in 5, then you don't pay taxes for that year. So every 10 years, you would get a break. Can you imagine how that would stimulate everybody's personal economy? If once in 10 years, you got to keep every penny that you earned. I mean, think about it. For some people, that's like $5,000, $10,000 or more that they could use to pay off bills or to start a business or to take a nice vacation. You know, just have a little nest egg, put something away for a rainy day. Can you imagine how much relief that would be if just 1 out of every 10 years you had the government out of your pocket? That would just be so amazing. It would stimulate the economy. It would, you know, pull back the government. You know, if you're telling me that the government can't live on 10% less than what they take in now, with all the money that they waste on stupid, just asinine projects, you know, things that really have nothing to do with running the country. It's just somebody's pet project, somebody's idea. I mean, just think about it. 1 year out of every 10, what that would do to each person's personal economy. Not to mention the fact that, hey, if you know your year's coming up, you'd probably be positioning for a better job, you'd be working overtime, you might even you'd be hustling. Think about what that would do for the economy. You know, my fellow Americans, you just gotta wake up and smell the tyranny.